your team this evening. Jake is celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday from all your Eagles family.
Good evening everyone and welcome to the Eagles Community Arena for live basketball.tv's coverage of tonight's BBL quarter-final trophy clash between the hometown Esh Group Eagles Newcastle and the Manchester Giants. Very, very big game for both sides. The Eagles, having lost last week's opening night game at the new arena, are looking as if they're out of the league championship race, but have still got the chance of silverware, win the trophy. And Manchester, of course, lost last weekend in the cup, the cup semi-final to Glasgow, so they'll be looking to get back to another semi-final if they can turn over the Eagles tonight. As ever, sitting alongside me in the new arena is my co-commentator Dave Eldigan. And Dave, your early thoughts?
Well, first, pick up your point that it remind everybody it is a trophy game tonight, so we're into a knockout situation, particularly crucial for the Eagles, as you say. Their last real chance, although it's very early to say they're out the league title race. And second thing here is that we're looking at a team that's 7-7 this year. That's a massive step up in terms of the win situation. Last year went the whole season only winning 4 games. 7-7 remind you of something. Worcester, that's what they came in their record last week. Very different fortunes though, because this team is doing quite well on the road. I think you said they had five wins out of those 7 are on the road. I mean, in terms of scouting of this team, I know the Jones brothers probably as well as anybody in the country. Callum, as you said before, a rare thing when you get a guard who never takes 3-point shots. Brother James is just the opposite, so they bring a lot of experience to this team. Short bench with them tonight in terms of, yes, they've got 10, but they're rotating only 7. But I think one of the biggest factors tonight, and a huge factor last week, is the fact that Victor Moses is not playing. I think that'll give Manchester some heart, because obviously they've got this guy Willie Clayton who is doing a really strong job by all accounts on the board. So we'll have to wait and see whether Victor's loss is going to be a situation tonight.
I think the difference probably a little bit, Dave, this week to last week was last week we were expecting Victor to be in the side, so they built the game around that. This week, obviously, they've probably known all week that he hasn't played, so hopefully they've made those adjustments. The Eagles have made those adjustments in training, and I'm pretty sure Manchester were fairly well aware that he wasn't going to be playing. But I do remember speaking to Dave Forrester after the game last week, and he was saying they've got to find a way of combating Willie Clayton's ability on the boards, so that is obviously a big factor to look for, sort of thing. It's going to be a very, very interesting game, I think, and as you say, Manchester run a very short bench, 7-man bench. They're virtually all in double figures apart from James Jones. And Clayton, we talked about before, 15.5 rebounds and 17.6 points a game, so a huge factor. But every one of the starting 5 is also in double figures. Eagles starting 5 will be Jeremy Smith, number 4, and Ramon Fletcher, 44 in the backcourt. And then we have the Williams brothers, 22 Jamal and 23 Kai, and Darius Defoe, the captain, 13. Interesting move from coach Danny Byrne. I just wonder if this is tactical or whether there's a possibility there is that Callum Jones isn't starting and James Jones is. Tory Butler, Willie Clayton, Mike McCall and Vlatko Granic are the other starters for Manchester.
Well, I'll pick you up on 2 things there. It seems to me as though the Eagles have been worried a little bit about Clayton. It seems to me as though it's just a matter of collapsing around him, for I understand about his game that he doesn't really look to shoot from outside at all. He's not particularly effective from the free throw line. In terms of the Jones brothers switching around, well, the one who's still on the bench may have a slight knock or whatever, but there's no question at all. If they think that outside shooting is going to be a factor tonight, this is the guy who can knock down outside shots.
And, tip wasn't contested. The ball was awarded to Manchester, so Butler's going to inbound that to Clayton, who lays it off to McCall to set the first offense up for Manchester. Here is James Jones into Granic. Granic finds Clayton inside, and there's the first points of the game to Willie Clayton, found by Granic, and he turned Darius Defoe quite well and laid it in quite easily. Fletcher now replies for the Eagles, brings the ball over halfway into Defoe. Early touch for Defoe. He manages to get his floater off, but it doesn't go in. McCall comes up with the loose ball for Manchester. Early chance for the Giants to get off to a good start here. McCall hassled by Smith, gives it to Greenwich. Greenwich over the top to Clayton, but this time he doesn't catch it.
Well, if those first two offences are anything to go by, you're going to see a lot of ball reversals here that end up with Greenwich getting the ball at the top of the key and playing a high-low game with Clayton.
Yes, Fletcher bringing the ball forward again for the Eagles. Smith comes looking for it, gives it back to Fletcher, uses Jamal Williams in the screen, looks to go to the basket, floats it in from the corner. 2 points to Fletcher, and that's 2 points all in the game.
I don't care how big you are, how good a shot blocker you are. When Fletcher plays the drive like that, he pulls up so quickly, it's like a surprise shot. It's very difficult to defend.
And at the other end, Mike McCall answers Manchester's point guard with the first three-pointer of the game. And there's Jeremy Smith going to the basket hard. Doesn't make the shot, but he's fouled by Greenwich. And will go to the line for 2 shots.
I think it just gives us a little bit of chance to reflect as he's going to the line in terms of the loss of Victor Morse as well. One thing I kept praising last week the Eagles for, I thought at times their transition game was really good against Worcester last week. And if they can get that transition going, that will cause Manchester problems.
Smith makes the first one from the line, 83% for the season.
I mean, Jeremy had a very mixed weekend last week, didn't he? He didn't
Absolutely,
play well
yeah.
at all against Worcester, then absolutely scorched the Scorchers on Sunday with, I think, 30-odd points. And Fab's kept faith with him playing. He could be a big part in this tonight if he can get his game going.
And he knocked the second free throw down, so he's off and running. Manchester moving the ball around the 3-point line. Greenwich tries to get it to Butler, but it's stolen by Jamal Williams, who finds Fletcher. Fletcher at the top of the key, shoots the 3. In it goes. Ramon Fletcher off to a good start for the Eagles. Puts them in front 7-5.
You know, the defenders are so worried about his ability to penetrate. You find them backing off, and that's where he gets that surprise move in.
There's Butler driving to the basket, then tries to dish it outside to Jones, and Jeremy Smith picks it off as easy as you like. He'll drive to the basket, up high off the glass, and in for 2. Strong start by the Eagles guards, Smith and Fletcher, as they move to 9-5 in front.
Well, the Eagles have recovered well from those 2 early scores by the Giants.
It's Clayton trying to find Jones. Fletcher comes up with a steal this time, and again it's Smith off the races, up to the basket and lays it in for 2.
This looks like very much the Jeremy Smith who played against the Scorchers last week.
Certainly not the one that played against Plymouth last Friday by the start, but long way to go. There's Greenwich, he gives it outside to Butler. Butler usually likes to get a shot or 2 off early, but he's hassled by both Fletcher and Kai Williams. He manages to get there and he tries to go for the layup, misses it. And I think the foul's been called.
Well, I'll be more surprised. I think that was the second contact. I think the referee realised he'd missed the first contact, which should have seen
Jamal
Butler was in on the line.
Yeah.
But he is gets his chance to go at the line now, which he certainly earned with his determination there to get to the basket and try and score.
I think the first foul looked as if it was on Jamal Williams, as you say, Dave, and it wasn't called. The second one was actually called on Darius Defoe. The Eagles lead 11-5, but Butler at the line for 2. And this is the first.
Well, you wouldn't believe, would you, with less than 3 minutes played after the start Manchester played, that the Eagles are already find themselves with 6-point lead.
Butler misses both, missed the second one very badly indeed. 64% free throw shooter of the season. Here's Fletcher turning the corner, gives it back out to Jamal Williams, puts in the long 3, down it goes, and Eagles fans are up 14-5, home side lead.
I think one of the factor here is that the emotion of the opening of this venue last week and everything it meant to this club obviously is not there tonight, and the team has settled down much quicker.
There's McCall, it's his second 3-point shot, but he's missed it. Clayton does well to get a hand and knocks it back out to McCall, gives it to Jones. He tries to penetrate, once again finds Clayton inside, and that's been called as an offensive foul on Clayton. Use of the elbow on Jamal Williams. I was reading an article a couple of weeks ago about where Willie Clayton said he felt that he's not getting the calls that other people get in the league, but that's...
I think he has a case there.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I think, you know, it's the first time I've seen a little bit of Clayton on films where he seems to work really hard without the ball to get into the position he wants to in the offence.
Fletcher there turning the over.
I'm looking at him, you know, he's
transition
beat everybody down the floor.
Yeah, great transition.
Absolutely got a nose for getting into that key and getting in the right place.
Found by Butler and he laid it in for 2. Gaps now 7 points, 14-7. Fletcher to Jamal Williams. Misses the 3, but Darius Defoe takes the long rebound. Fletcher out to Jeremy Smith for 3. Oh, in and out. Fletcher probably could have penetrated to the basket.
I absolutely loved that pass because it was going to be a really difficult shot for him, and it was a great dish out. Well executed by Jeremy, just didn't drop for him.
Yes, Granic at the other end now. Hand off to Jones, who comes round the corner. Oh, great pass from James Jones. And that man Clayton inside the little
tell
circle.
You what, that's the 4th different way they've found within their offensive structure to get him cut into the basket without the ball.
14-9. Clayton already looking at danger inside, but Eagles have penetrated the Manchester's defence pretty well so far. And there's another example of it. Great curl from Kai Williams, and beautifully found by Fletcher, and lays it in for 2 more. Eagles go to 16-9 in front. There's McCall to reply. Granic will try the 3-point shot, and that rattles home for Vlatko Granic.
Wow, that was some comfort with the range he took that from.
Probably typical Eastern European, 6'9", but he can shoot the 3. Jamal Williams being at the other end tries his 3rd 3 and missed that one, and there's a lot of battling underneath the basket between Jamal Williams and Willie Clayton, and this time it's Jamal Williams who's called for the foul. It's going to be an interesting battle all night. I think that one, and whoever decides to take Clayton on, or whichever one the Eagles put on him, Jamal Williams coming out of the game and Drew Lasker coming in.
Well, I'm pretty sure with what they know about his stats, with what they know about the way he plays, they will have talked about the help away from Clayton coming in to help him and collapse around him in the middle.
Actually, the Eagles have changed that substitution. It's Jeremy Smith who's gone off for Drew Lasker. There's the ball into Clayton again, but that's that was a very hard ball for him to catch.
Yeah, I think before he looked like he was auditioning for playing for Newcastle United there. I think he got away with a pretty blatant push.
And then the ball dropped and it landed on the foot of Tory Butler. So turnover and the Eagles get the ball back. As usual in the hands of Fletcher. He gives it to Kai Williams, who shoots a long 3, doesn't make it. Granic takes off the defensive rebound, and Callum Jones has come on for his brother in that exodus, so it looks as if it was purely a tactical thing from Danny Byrne. Oh, there's a nice turn from Clayton and a slam home and a swing on the basket. Willie Clayton certainly enjoyed that one, turning around past Jamal Williams.
I think they sensed that there was no help defense at all between him and the basket. Great move.
Wide open in the corner 3 from Darius Defoe. 40% on the season for 3-point range, and he looks so much more comfortable taking the 3-point shot.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, as you were enjoying your rest last week, and Daniel Routers was giving us some interesting statistics. In his first 13 years in the league, Darius Defoe took 13 3-point shots. This year he's already taken more than that, and as you just say, he's shooting at 41%. This is a really good move for the Eagles because, you know, not long ago we were talking about stretch 4s. Now they're talking about stretch 5. So any player on the floor who can stretch the defense like Darius did there is a great asset in the way the game is played in this modern era.
I think we've been lucky enough to see Darius Defoe since he was a teenager, Dave, and he kind of seems to have added range to his game almost every year. The only thing is now, where's he going to go next? Because unless they bring a 4-point line in.
Well, never mind where he's going next. I'll tell you what, we're sat in a position where we can view that shot absolutely head on. That was perfect execution of a 3-point shot. He got everything right. He dipped into it, quick lift, and a beautiful stroke at the end of it.
And of course found by his point guard, which is what the point guard's there for.
Yeah.
And that's a timeout taken by Manchester, and Eagles leading 19-14 at the timeout. And interesting, obviously, that Danny Byrne took that timeout because they'd got back to within 2 points, and then they left Defoe wide open, and he knocked down that 3. Ingus Bankovic has come on for Tory Butler. Eagles come back out with the same 5 that sat down for the timeout. Callum Jones will now be the ball handler for Manchester, as well as McCall. They tend to change it up between the two of them.
If that's on Darius, that's crucial, because they're not going to want to leave him out there when he's on 2 fouls. Is that right? Would that Darius second?
Well, there you go. Answer your question.
Yeah.
Kyle Williams comes straight to the subs bench, and then he comes for Darius. 2 fouls. I think you've got to give Willie Clayton a lot of credit for that, to where he drew that foul of Darius.
And what you have to look at now is how well can the Williams brothers, the two taller ones of the 3, how can they do a job on Clayton inside? This guy is active, isn't he? Yeah. He's there setting out screens, and as soon as he's done anything, he's straight to the basket.
Well, Greenwich with a long 2, and that floater that come right back off the board. The Eagles picked it up. Here's Jamal Williams for 3. Now halfway down, and then it comes back out.
I'll tell you what, that didn't drop, but they're so bothered about Fletcher's penetration that they're going to leave. They're just giving up patrolling that 3-point line completely.
McCall missed a 2-point shot, and Fletcher came up with the rebound. He's pushing the Eagles forward. He'll go for a 3-point shot himself. That's off the backboard, and Clayton takes a rebound. I think I'll probably be saying that quite a lot. 3:08 left in the first quarter as McCall drives all the way to the basket, then kicks out to Bankovic. Bankovic for 3. He's missed that one. Clayton doesn't quite get the rebound. Battled with Lasker and Kai Williams. Fletcher to Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams thought about the 3, then drives inside. Steps out of bounds as he found his brother Kai.
Well, of course, the advantage of to the Eagles of Clayton having to guide Jamal Williams is Jamal is capable of hitting the 3-point shot and taking it, but it's pulling him away from the boards.
Yes, Callum Jones.
Well, you can see the Eagles' defense straight away, can't you, when Callum has it? They're just protecting against his ability to try and penetrate.
Greenwich for 3, and there's a 3 from Greenwich. Great
don't leave him out there.
Yeah. That cuts the gap to 2 points, 19-17, and Manchester fought their way back into this game really effectively. There's Lasker now, he's got the ball, brings it up. Fletcher tries to drive inside. McCall doesn't go for the shake and bake. Turns the corner. Double team, gives it back to Jamal Williams. Thought about the 3. Lasker gives it to Kyle Williams in the corner, and Willie Clayton manages to get across and block Kyle Williams' 3-point shot.
I don't pretend to be an expert on Willie Clayton, but I'll tell you another thing about him, apart from his ability to get the basket, he's a hard-working player.
He's loud as well, Dave.
Yeah, good communicator.
He's really getting into the game early. Shouting and encouraging his teammates on. Yes, Kyle Williams, nice turn, round jump shot off the buzzer.
Yeah, pretty smart move by Kyle there, because otherwise he was going to run out of shot clock time.
Callum Jones to Bankovic. Bankovic tries to turn the corner. Jamal Williams gets his hand in there and knocks it to the end line. It'll be a Manchester ball at the end line. Eagles making a lot of early substitutions. Jeremy Smith now coming back on. Kai Williams taking a seat. Interesting conversation with Kai Williams last night. He only considers himself as the Eagles' 6th option on offense. It's quite probably shows a good depth from the Eagles if you got somebody like Kai Williams as your 6th offensive option. Callum Jones' shot is short. James Jones got the rebound, and Ignas Bankovic steps inside and levels the game at 19 points all. Jeremy Smith at the other end, that'll be a travel. Yep. Blocked off, 1:31 left to go, 19 all. Manchester were down by 14-7 at one stage, so they've fought back fantastically well. Butler back on as well. He's given it to Callum Jones. Bankovic comes off the screen, finds Clayton. Clayton thinks about it. Is he going to shoot that too? No, he's not. Gives it to Bankovic. Bankovic tries to find Clayton inside, but good hands by Drew Lasker. And there's a great transition play from the Eagles. Fletcher found a wide open Kyle Williams, but Kyle was unable to make the layup. And that'll be a charge. Jamal Williams draws the charge on Tory Butler. Tory Butler looking a little bit frustrated, hasn't got on the score sheet yet. It's Fletcher again to bring the ball over the halfway line. Lasker to his right, finds him now. Jeremy Smith in the corner. Nice pass inside to Jamal Williams. Nice ball movement from the Eagles here. Kyle Williams comes in, that's well off though. Nice ball movement till the end, and then floater from Kyle Williams was well off.
Just decision making at the end there let them down. You know, the situation was that brought pretty much the whole of the Manchester defence in. Wide open shooters there for the kick out.
Callum Williams tries to drive in, obviously looking for Clayton every time. Clayton finds James Jones outside, and there's a great 3-point shot. Clayton's back already on defence, celebrating the 3-point shot. He's got some energy, this big man. Here's Fletcher, probably just about the last shot, but Eagles need to get back into this. They're now down by 3. Fletcher thinks about the 3, decides not to get it. Clayton, the Giants managed to block that ball, but Jeremy Smith gets it back, shoots the 3. He's missed that. Bankovic takes the rebound. Manchester have got 5 seconds here to get a shot off. Callum Jones will go almost all the way to the basket. His floater goes up, and it counts, and that gives the Manchester Giants a 5-point lead at the end of the first quarter, 24-19. And by my reckoning, that's pretty much about a 17-5 turnaround, Dave.
Well, you know, it's just similar situation here to last week against Worcester, where you feel the Eagles just play well and then they lose the way a little bit. I mean, just to give you one example, when Jeremy Smith went in against those defensive players and got the travel, you know, it's about decision making. You got big bodies blocking that basket. You make a decision before you go into them, and he had loads of options to kick it out. And we had the same at the other end when I think it was Butler Torrey drove straight into Williams. Again, he had decision makings. Pretty critical last week about some phases of the Eagles' play against Worcester, but it's not that they don't share the ball. 29 assists for the season to Manchester's 19. It's just that critical decision making when they penetrate inside, particularly from Jeremy and Kyle.
Just a quick look at this, the first quarter stats then. If you look at Manchester, Willie Clayton 8 points and 5 rebounds already. Vlatko Granic with 6 points. For the Eagles, pretty much a nice spread, but it's Jeremy Smith with 6 and Ramon Fletcher with 5. But rebounds, Eagles have taken 6 rebounds, and Willie Clayton's taken 5 of his own, and Manchester have got 13 rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it being a trophy game. There's no second chance in this game, and let's just remind ourselves how Manchester Giants got here. They got here by absolutely thumping Leicester at the Riders' own court.
Yeah, absolutely great point that, Dave, as well. And it's a Manchester side that just appears not to fear anybody, and because they've got that short rotation, they seem to be a very close-knit team as well. They seem to all really pull for each other.
It's the introduction here of Eddie Matthews.
Yeah.
Now, if they're going to play a zone, as it looks like, Eddie's the man for that.
I think they're playing the zone particularly because
here we go.
Up for the 3, and in it goes. Exactly what we talked about.
Boy, did we get that one right,
yeah, absolutely. Great call, Dave. And obviously Fletcher found him.
I mean, like you, we commentated on that game when they played Edinburgh Kings in the previous round. And what was Eddie, 8 for 9 or 7 for 8? Yeah, 8 for 9.
Bankovic makes a 2 at the other end.
Yeah, and not only that, he's shooting absolutely great in the Bucks Premiership for Northumbria University.
It's Fletcher again. Eddie Matthews looking again.
But look where he is. Look, he's playing behind the defence, looking for that corner spot to cause problems. Now, as he does that, they have to honour him because he can shoot it. That opens up Darius for inside plays.
And the one man who will pick that out all day is Ramon Fletcher, and he found Darius Defoe there, and it was a really good 2 from Darius Defoe. There's Granic, he's going to drive to the basket. That's a long finger roll. Didn't make it, but great offensive rebounding.
Great passing.
Yeah, great offensive rebounding by Callum Jones and then Bankovic, and some really good passing. Granic missed the 2-point shot, but again Bankovic managed to get the rebound, and he's shot the 2, and he's been fouled in the act of shooting, and he's got the line to shoot an extra 1.
You've cleared that up for me, Jeff, because I wasn't absolutely certain who that foul was on. I thought it was on Granic as he handed the ball off, but no, you got that right. Spot on. Bankovic on the line for the bonus.
Foul was on Jeremy Smith. Bankovic misses the bonus, but Torrey Butler got up for the rebound, but the ball was knocked free, and it came off Torrey Butler last, and Eagles ball from the end line.
Well, you talked before about Manchester's improvement over last year. I mean, it's not just an improvement in the figures in terms of the wins, they're also the on-court performances improved massively. I think they're moving the ball really well.
Before trying to find Matthew in the corner, and James Jones got his hands to it, and here's Bankovic now at the other end looking to shoot a 2. Goes down. Shot by that sniper. Here's Jeremy Smith, brings the ball over the halfway line, driving in between the line. I think, yeah, he turned the ball over with his hand as he went through the gap. You don't see that call very often, Dave, but I think it was probably a fair call.
I think probably. Yeah. And I actually think he made the right decision there, because if he'd just controlled that crossover dribble, he was clear at the basket.
Interesting substitution from the Eagles there. Drew Lasker coming off, and Kai Williams coming back on, and Drew Lasker, as he went to the bench, looked grimaced a couple of times. I'm just not 100% sure he's 100% fit there. Callum Jones, meanwhile at the other end, finds Bankovic. Bankovic hassled by Matthew, throws a long pass to James Jones. He bullets one inside the Butler, who still can't get her free, but he found Callum Jones, who cut to the basket superbly well and laid it in for 2. Good pass from Tory Butler, and Manchester lead by 6 at 30-24 with 7:44 to go in the first half.
Well, you're right about Willie Clayton. He's a great talker. On the bench, he's a cross between an assistant coach and a cheerleader.
And there's Fletcher driving all the way to the basket, and Callum Jones can do nothing to stop him getting in that familiar left-handed lane.
Just can't say how good he is at that. Just can't oversay how good he is at that move. Creates the gap, he protects the ball, great.
And he's got
no chance at all to block that.
He's got his hands in there on the... Oh,
wow.
And there's what I would call a circus shot. Up and under, reverse layup from Fletcher, who caused the Eagles transition offense with the steal at the other end, and suddenly they're back to within 2 at 30-28, the Giants lead. Granic inside, nice pass from James Jones to Granic. Granic gets free, in it goes. Manchester have now played this first 3 minutes without Willie Clayton, who has gone to the subs bench, sitting next to Howard. The courtside announcer, I think he may want to fancy his chances of doing that as well, Dave.
Well, you know, he works so hard, you know, that he's obviously going to have left. I think I noticed before he's averaging something like 31 minutes a game. Yeah. So they're not just putting him out there for 40 minutes, because he really does work hard. But actually, I'm quite impressed in the way they've handled it without him on the floor. And you know, the factor I wasn't expecting to be so big, actually, I think, is Granic. Yeah. He's hit threes. He's been getting in the right position in the offense. Great inside face thing. But not only that, he's been doing a pretty good job protecting the rim as well.
There's Eddie Matthew for 2, coming off the end line player from Fletcher. At the other end, Jeremy Smith gets his hands in the way and intercepts Tory Butler's pass, which was meant for Granic. It'll be an end line ball to Manchester. Willie Clayton back on now. Obviously at the back of the queue when they were giving shorts out, Dave, as well.
There are some modern players, you know, don't like these
long
sort
shorts.
of middies going out somewhere near the top of the calf. I mean, you know, I think back in time, talking to Paul Blake, I shouldn't be surprised about how good a shooter Eddie Matthews is, because I remember Paul telling me when this kid was something like 15 or 16, he took part in a 3-on-3 competition somewhere, and I think he had about 23s in a competition in one particular game, and I think that was at a high standard as well.
Yeah, it was down in Manchester. It was a national thing, and I can remember it myself, because I used to coach him as assistant coach of the Eagles under 18s. Always been a great shooter, and always had quite a good basketball brain, but and he's managed to get some good minutes here today. There's Jeremy Smith trying to get things going for the Eagles at this end. Fletcher finds Defoe, but Defoe can't take the handle. Butler finds Callum Jones making it through. Eagles will take a timeout.
Did you see Fletcher's reaction there? He got down the court, was really angry with himself, threw the ball away after they scored. And you know, I've written this word down before because I thought he would crop up in the game. I think the Eagles have just got to get better in breakdown situations. Jeremy there created a breakdown situation that was so easy to get out of. He's trying to force it. Don't. There's open teammates somewhere for you to kick out to.
And interestingly enough, as you say that, Dave, as the Eagles went back to the bench, Bob Flanoy met Jeremy Smith at halfway and didn't let him go back to the bench until he'd made his point.
Yeah.
And then he's gone back, and obviously Ian McLeod was taking the timeout. Flanoy's in there now, taking it to the other end. I have to say, Danny Byrne looks quite sort of casual almost in his time out with his.
Well, I think his team. Honestly, I know they fell back a little bit, but I thought his team did pretty well when they were giving Willie Clayton the rest. But I want to tell you, I'm sure I'm not the only coach in the world who's ever used this expression. I've heard it from a lot of coaches where they say to the players, "Stay within what you're good at."
Yeah.
Mount sounds like a simple coaching point, but it's so vital. Jeremy, if he has an open drive or one guy there, he's great at going to basket. What he's not good at is recognising when the route to basket is cut off and turning around and kicking the ball out to an open teammate.
Yeah. And I think that's, it's a key to nearly all sports, isn't it, Dave? Do what you do.
Absolutely.
Do it the right way.
Yeah.
Don't try and do things you can't do. And it takes you out your comfort zone.
I mean, I remember years ago, is it Rick Carlisle coaches Dallas Mavericks?
Yeah.
At an interview after a game when they'd lost in the final, to take it to 6-all or something, he said, next practice we're just going to go back to doing simple things well.
Yeah. It's talking about, there's Fletcher trying to drive to the basket and Clayton gets across and swats it away and has a good long look at Ramon Fletcher as if to say, you're really going to try and go?
I'm going to say hiding the ball might not be so easy from Willie Clayton as it was from Callum Jones.
Fletcher to Defoe. Defoe trying to find Fletcher, he's against Clayton, he's going to go in against Clayton. Fade away jump shot, hits the front of the rim, comes down. Mike McCall takes the ball up. Haven't really mentioned Mike McCall that much, but he's another part of this Manchester team that works hard and does what he needs to do. James Jones turns the corner, he finds Clayton into Greenwich, but Greenwich can't take it, and the ball goes dead. That
was interesting, the roles were reversed there. If that had been Greenwich, he would have taken that wide open shot, but Clayton clearly isn't comfortable taking shots away from the basket because he tried to force the ball into a player who's been overplayed.
6 foot inside seems to be his range, Dave.
Well, his rebounding stats are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes, Fletcher against McCall.
Great
he finds
pass.
Darius Defoe, but Darius Defoe can't make the shot. Clayton takes that rebound as if it's his own ball. Nice pass from Butler to a great play from James Jones. Nice pass from Butler to Jones, and then Jones found Greenwich under the basket with a great pass, and he lays it in for 2. And suddenly Manchester lead by 8 to 30, and the Eagles preparing some substitutions with Jamal and Kyle Williams about to come on.
I think one thing this Giants team have been well drilled at is when they receive the ball, is looking and squaring up to the basket so they can see all the options.
Jeremy Smith going to the basket and floating in. That's what you were talking about before. That was a clean lane, and he drove into it well and laid the ball in. That's what he's got to do more of, make good decisions like that.
But more importantly, he pulled up before he got into the defender.
Wow, you just talked about Greenwich there, Dave, and he's just hit another really deep 3 from a pass from McCall, and Manchester now got a 9-point lead at 41 to 32. Still 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Inside Fletcher to Kai Williams. Darius Defoe comes up with a shot, can't make it. Guess who took the rebound?
He's
Clayton, Willie Clayton, and he's out down at the other end, moving in towards the basket.
Great mate defense, Eddie.
Great, yeah. Ramon Fletcher tried to troops up, trying to get anybody going.
It can't be that easy for Eddie to mark Greenwich, but I tell you what, he did a terrific job there. Because it ended up in the switches on Greenwich, and he read that really well.
Jeremy Smith and Darius Defoe go to the bench, and Williams is Kyle and Jamal on now with and obviously Kai already on the court, so we got the 3 Williams together. Matthew now faced by McCall. Good screen by Greenwich. McCall drives to the basket, doesn't get it there, gives it to Clayton. Clayton into Greenwich, and I think that'll be waved off. Yeah, that was. Yeah. Just outside the 24, although we're saying it was still nice play, just a second too long.
Yeah, you commented about that last sub. I think it's almost a gimme, Jeff, that the Eagles have got to look at having the two taller Williamses, Kai and Jamal, on the floor when Darius takes a break, without Victor as well.
And obviously probably just protecting Darius Defoe a little bit as well, because he is on 2 fouls. Fletcher, Kyle Williams for 3. Oh, that hits the rim and down into the arms of Willie Clayton for another rebound.
He did everything right about that shot, though. He did everything right. He read it. He was wide open.
Oh, Manchester another 3 at the other end from Mike McCall, and found by James Jones. I think James Jones is having a very good game tonight, dishing out a lot of assists, or he appears to be Fletcher for three to the red, doesn't make it, and it's James Jones who takes the rebound. He blows past Eddie Matthews, but Eddie Matthews comes back at him. Great hands by Eddie Matthews. And Fletcher comes away with, and then goes coast to coast with the lay-in. Good defense by Eddie Matthews, closed that.
Anybody else other than Willie Clayton, Fletcher's almost unstoppable, isn't he, in that move?
Cuts that gap just to 10 now. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Willie Clayton, battling underneath with Jamal Williams. I thought Willie Clayton had picked up a foul earlier. But
yeah, he has. He's got two. Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I suddenly saw 8 flashing up on the scoreboard, but no, they've corrected that, and it's gone against Willie. It's his second. Well, with Darius on 2 and him on 2, kind of balances things out a little bit, which I think, you know, could be important. It certainly foul trouble last week was a big issue against Worcester.
It's Drew Lasker now, and there's Fletcher driving to the basket, kicks it out to Drew Lasker.
Fantastic movement.
Great ball movement from the Eagles, but unfortunately it was a good shot from Kai Williams, but it didn't drop, but it was great ball movement to cause, give him the open shot.
Yeah. I mean, good ball movement like that should encourage the Eagles. That's the way to go. I mean, you look at it in all honesty, there are 3-point shooting at 32%. It's a little disappointing, but they have got guys who are capable of knocking them down.
I think the problem for the Eagles here is rebounds. You know, that 3-point shot before came off.
Well, we saw 2 good moves at each end of the floor, Jeff. The only difference was that the Manchester Giants guy knocked his down, and we didn't at this end. It was a good shot to take.
Willie Clayton takes a seat on the bench, having just blocked another shot. Callum Jones back on. Here's Fletcher trying to drive to the basket. Good hands there by Callum Jones, but it felt that Kai Williams had what looked like an easy put back. He missed it, but he managed to get the tip in. Yeah, that's stats, isn't it? Offensive rebound.
But the big issue there is that tip in wouldn't have happened if Clayton had been on the floor. He gets his second, he gets sent to the bench.
And there's a steal from Ramon Fletcher to Jamal
Great
Williams.
movement.
And again, great transition, and this time Kyle Williams is able to lay it in. And Eagles back to within 8 at 46-38.
Yeah.
1:10 to go in the quarter and in the half. Here's Callum Jones, guarded by Kyle Williams. Gives it to his brother James Jones. That's from miles downtown, and he's missed it. Kyle Williams takes the rebound. He's going up and he thinks about shooting the 3. Now he's thinking about driving to the basket. Picked his dribble up, but he's fouled by James Jones, and he immediately, he looked as if he was going to complain about the foul call. He wasn't. He was complaining about himself making the foul. No, put his hand up and acknowledged it straight away and shook his head, said, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm trying to figure out this new scoreboard, Jeff. Impressed as I am with him, I'm right in thinking that's only 4 fouls between the 2 teams over the whole, pretty much the whole of this quarter.
The Eagles have got 4 and Manchester have got 6, I think it is, Dave.
Yeah, but in this quarter,
in this
4,
quarter,
yeah, right,
there's only 4 in the quarter, yeah.
Giants only picked up 1 foul in this quarter.
No, they've picked up 3. Eagles have only picked up 1. There's Kyle Williams
right,
for 3. Kyle Williams, nice step back 3-point shot. Gets the Eagles back to within 5. It's 46-41. Manchester had a chance to go 2 for 1, decided not to do that. Now we'll run a longer offense, which should give the Eagles the last ball. That's a nice pass from Callum Jones to Bankovic. His shot doesn't actually go in, rimmed round, but Bankovic fouled in the act of shooting. He will go up the line to shoot 2. I think it's Bankovic, an 81% free throw shooter.
Well, as I know Manchester will want to go with these wing-to-wing swings and these cuts in from the weak side that are causing the Eagles problems. I think the Eagles have got to really think about how they can get more out of their transition game. I thought last week there were times when the Eagles were absolutely brilliant in their executing of the transition. 2 passes and a layup. 3 times in a row. I think it was in the 3rd quarter.
Bankovic, 81% free throw shooter, but he misses them both. He'll probably be pleased that these stats don't count in the end of season reckonings. The cup trophy, obviously, you know, the stats are only applicable on the night. They don't go into your records. Eagles now waiting for the last shot. Fletcher holding for the last shot. He's trying to drive in. Great cut from Kai Williams. Beautifully found by Fletcher. He lays it in almost on the buzzer. And that was a really good run by the Eagles there to finish the quarter. They've got back to within 3 points at 43-46 when they looked as if they were really struggling. and it's Fletcher really who's finding his men, and the good cuts to the basket, and that was an excellent play by Kai Williams.
Well, absolutely right, Jeff. I mean, I think it was maybe only 3 minutes ago I was looking at that scoreboard and thinking, how on earth have the Eagles got themselves 12 points down? Where do they go from here? Well, the answer has been, I don't know what the run is they've gone on, but they've taken it back to right within 3, well back in the game now with 15 minutes to just think over the things that they maybe need to do better.
So that's the first half done here at the Eagles Community Arena, with the away side holding a slim 3-point lead at 46-43. Join us shortly for the second half.
It's an 8-minute running clock shootout. The trophies have arrived, the medals are ready, but who's going to be crowned champion of champions tonight at the South Tyneside? Who's the hell? The referees are on call. The teams are almost ready. Holy Trinity will be playing in the maroon, and Mortimer will be in the black kits. And we're underway, 8 minutes. Who will be crowned the champions of South Tyneside? 26 teams started this tournament on the 11th of January. The teams have received coaching from the South Tyneside Basketball Coach, Callum George, and the Eagles Community Foundation. But there's medals at stake, a trophy at stake, a place in the Champions of Champions finals. But more importantly this evening, it is who will be crowned champions of South Tyneside as Holy Trinity find the net in the first 60. Well, here come Mortimer. All 4 teams that played in the semi-final will receive recognition at the end teams remain. One team will be crowned champion. We have just over 3.5 minutes remaining. It stays with the team in black, looking to find a basket. 2 early baskets of Holy Trinity. We have 2.5 minutes remaining. 2:30 remains in the South side. Final long ball. It goes out of bounds. Holy Trinity hold advantage with 2 minutes. The clock is counting down. We're heading to the final 60. We need to find an ultimate basket as we go towards that buzzer. And then we will crown the champions. Hoops for Health, South Tyneside. I see the trophy has been unwrapped. The medals are ready as we go towards the final minute. Holy Trinity still hold advantage. One are in the paint. We get a little travel on the play. Holy Trinity put the jumper up, just can't open the window. They get the rebound. 30 seconds remaining. We have a little travel on the play. The clock is counting down. We have 10 seconds remaining. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time! We will crown Holy Trinity, the South Tyneside champions very shortly, but the medal party is ready. The teams are lining up. We're going to recognise all the finalists in the semi-final as Richard Saunders, Montgomery Water, head of maintenance, will make the presentation. But as we recognise the 2 defeated semi-finalists who lost out in the semi-final, the 2 semi-finalists in a sudden death shootout. Both teams went that way, so your appreciation for East Bolden. East Bolden coming to receive the congratulations of just being knocked out in the semi-final. And your other semi-final was competed, and the other semi-finals were the team from St. Bede's. Richard Saunders from Montgomery Water, head of maintenance, making the presentation as the silver and gold medals will be presented very shortly. South Tyneside Hoops for Health champions, the team from Holy Trinity. And as they're going, the presentation will be made by Richard Saunders, head of maintenance, Northumbria Water. As Holy Trinity, the champions 2019, make their way forward to receive the gold medals and the championship trophy for 2019. Richard comes towards the end of the gold medal winners presentation. I see the trophy is with the Chief Executive Officer of the Eagles Community Foundation, Sam Lake, ready to go. So Eagles Community Arena, your appreciation, your 2019 champions of South Tyneside Hoops for Health, the youngsters from Holy Trinity.
Welcome back to the Eagles Community Arena for the second half. Just doing some formalities on court as the Hoops for Health for South Tyneside. Holy Trinity winning that one, and they're just having their pictures taken there. But what we want to do is just run through some of the stats from the first half. But before I do that, just a quick mention of the other two games that are going on tonight, both championship games. Down there in Bristol, the Flyers lead the Sheffield Sharks by 38 points to 30, and at Worcester, just give our thoughts out to Ty Shaw, who's recuperating after the illness he picked up last Friday night. The coach sitting that one out, and at the moment his team are down by 54 to 32 against the league leaders London Lions. Back here at Sports Central, though, just to have a look at some of the half-time stats and discuss them with Dave. Rebounds, Eagles 13 rebounds and Manchester 23. Assists are 13 to the Eagles, 14 to Manchester. Turnovers 6 to Eagles, 14 to Manchester. Steals 7 to the Eagles, 3 to Manchester. But I think it's the shooting percentages where we see some really big differences. Overall, Manchester shooting at 62% and the Eagles at 43%. From two-point range, the Eagles are 56% and the Giants just ahead of that at 60%. But here's the big one, from three-point range, the Eagles are 31% and Manchester are 66% from the three-point range. Free throws, Manchester haven't made any out of 5. Eagles have only shot 2 and made them both. And just individually, some big numbers as well. Ramon Fletcher for the Eagles leads them with scoring with 11 points, but at the half also has an incredible 11 assists. And when you think the Eagles have only got 13 assists altogether, he's got 11 of them. Jeremy Smith has 8 points. Kai Williams has 6 points and 5 assists. For Manchester, Dave mentioned him in the commentary, Vlatko Granic is having a real big game. He's got 15 points at the half, 3 of 3 from three-point range, and he's also got 4 rebounds. That man Willie Clayton, we mentioned a few times, 8 points and 8 rebounds, so he's on course for what he does. Callum Jones has 8 points, and James Jones has 6 assists in his book. Any thoughts, Dave, there?
Well, the big stat is the fact that the Giants are leading 46-43, and I think that's an indication that they have edged that first half, and the Eagles camp's well aware that this is a trophy and a knockout. I thought the Eagles did pretty well when Clayton had to go to the bench and complimenting Manchester, but that was more offensively. I think it's very difficult for them to maintain their standard of play when Clayton's from a defensive point of view. The Eagles have really got to get down to pushing this ball in transition and making better decisions in the half-court offense. It's a world where everybody's raining three-point shots in. Three-point shots are up in almost every league in the world. What's a good percentage? Well, 66 is phenomenal, and I think one of the reasons the Eagles are there is I think 31% they are capable of much better than that. That is not a good shooting percentage at this level.
To turn those percentages into actual numbers, the Eagles are 5 of 16, whereas Manchester are 6 from 9.
That's fantastic.
So
I mean,
it's probably smarter shots as well.
It makes me think from the Giants' coaching point of view, that if Clayton has to go for the bench, either foul trouble or the feeling needs a breather, it's very well possible that they could zone the Eagles up when they see what the Eagles' shooting percentage was from the three-point line in the first half.
It's Willie Clayton from the halfway who gets the game underway for the second half and gives it to his point guard McCall. McCall give it to James Jones, who was hassled by Fletcher, and Manchester almost lost the ball.
One thing we can tell you straight away, Flapton always told this defence to push out and get after them. And it's paid off.
And the Eagles have come up with a turnover there. Fletcher comes up with a steal. Lasker to Kai Williams. Kai Williams in transition, shoots the three, doesn't make it. Clayton takes his 9th rebound, gives it to McCall. McCall over the halfway line. Lasker and Jamal Williams jumping out and Greenwich. Wow, that was a bullet pass inside.
It was also very good defence by Darius Defoe.
Yeah.
Never for 1 second did he allow Clayton to get a better position on him towards the ball.
Defoe inbounds to Lasker. He brings the ball up. Fletcher cuts through, looking for the ball. He gets it back off Lasker. He tried to find Darius with a lob pass, but didn't make it. Lasker did find him. Defoe going up against Clayton, but that's way short. And Tory Butler takes the ball in.
He's not only a good defensive rebounder, he's not only a good shot blocker, he's also a good shot changer.
I was just about to say Tory Butler, no points in the first half. Comes out there, shoots a three, and in it goes. Now he's got 3 points, and he's also pushed that gap to 6 points, 49-43. Nice play from Fletcher at the other end. Great pass out to the corner to Jamal Williams, but he can't make the three. It was a good shot, just didn't make it. Here's McCall now at the other end, driving, thinking about it. Gives it to Greenwich. He finds Butler. If Butler comes alive, that's going to give Manchester another offensive chance, and there he goes. He's looking to shoot another three, but he doesn't make it this time. Fletcher in there for the rebound, uncontested. He brings it forward, looks like he's going to go coast to coast. He does go coast to coast, but Butler, good defense by Tory Butler, alters the shot. And Fletcher can't make his layup. Butler goes hard at the other end. And I think there's been a foul call.
Yeah.
Foul call on Jamal Williams, as Tory Butler looked to drive at the far end.
I think Jamal felt he had to put the pressure on that shooter, but actually I thought that Tory Butler had pretty much got out of control and was going away from the basket, and was pretty difficult for him to make any sort of good contact there.
Tory Butler goes to the line, and that's the first successful free throw for Manchester tonight on the 6th attempt. One more to come as they hit 50 points. Make that 51 points, and it's good start from Manchester.
Time for some real thinking from the Eagles here. You know, that 66% shooting is phenomenal against the Eagles 31, but they're already 0 for 2 in this quarter.
As Jamal Williams goes up for the three.
That's 0 for 3.
0 for 3. Willie Clayton takes his 10th rebound.
So I think, you know, maybe getting that ball into Darius Defoe is going to be the better option next.
Mike McCall from the charity stripe knocks down his jumper, and suddenly it's a 10-point gap again. Eagles haven't scored so far in this half.
Well, getting in Darius involved more in the paint, gives him a chance of a higher percentage score, but it also makes Clayton play some defense.
And there's another great transition.
Well, frustration's in already. That's why this timeout's been called. The numbers there, they outnumbered them 4-2, beating them down the floor.
As I say, it's great. And McCall pulled up and waited for Greenwich to come and laid it off to Greenwich, and Greenwich laid it in, and that makes it 55-43. And obviously, as Dave's already pointed out, Eagles immediately called a timeout. Eagles haven't scored in the first 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 35 of the third quarter, whereas Manchester have put in 9 unanswered points to give them that 12-point lead.
Yeah, I mean, the decision here has to be made on instincts, Jeff. I mean, they've taken 3 good 3-point shots. No question about it. The person who's taken them is capable of making them, good positions, wide open to take them. They're just not making them. So I think that's where the instincts have to come in terms of what the strategy is going to be offensively. Absolutely, you sure with the way they broke second offense of this half, absolutely they've got to put this transition game, but they've also got to play some transition defense. Can't let frustration get the better of them and let Giants outnumber them 4-2 down the floor.
I mean, if you look at it, we are privileged at some time to get some of these things, and we have got the Eagles scouting report on Manchester, and the second point that the coaching staff, they must get back. They are a good transition team.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they showed in the last couple of offences. Jamal Williams now replying for the Eagles. Defoe and Clayton battling hard inside, almost waiting for a whistle. Fletcher for 3. That's 4 3-point shots missed. This time it's Darius Defoe for 2. He's missed that shot as well. Kai Williams gets the rebound, gives it his brother Jamal. Darius Defoe's going to try a 3-point shot. That one's in and out. That's by my reckoning, that's 7 shots the Eagles have now missed. And then coming at the other end, no, that's short from Tory Butler. Jamal Williams takes a good rebound.
Well, we're not even played half the quarter yet. And the stat was that one of the stats that stood out in terms of 31% against 66 has just got massively worse.
And Fletcher manages to get the Eagles off on the board with a layup. 10-point gap. McCall finds Granic. Granic is going to shoot the 3. That's the first one he's missed, but a great offensive rebound by Tory Butler, and Manchester recycled beautifully. James Jones, another assist, as finds Granic cutting to the basket.
You have to be really impressed with James Jones there. This guy can knock down shots, but what did he do? He had his head up, he saw the cutting player, great pass.
Granic made the 2, and it's a 12-point gap again. He has another 3 ball going up from the Eagles. Jamal Williams. The fans will probably be getting frustrated at all these threes, but they're all open, not wide open, but they are good shots.
Yeah.
He has Granic at the other end. He's missed his 3-point. And once again, Tory Butler comes up with a great offensive rebound. Eagles are getting killed on the boards as well, Dave. Here's Butler.
It's not even Clayton, is it?
No. Ball comes out. James Jones floater, doesn't make it. Kai Williams takes the rebound, gives it to his brother Jamal. He finds Fletcher more often running down the other end. And Tory Butler just swats that ball out of Fletcher's hands and comes away with it. James Jones to McCall, back to James Jones, on to Butler. He takes a nice step inside, nice easy 2-point shot, but he doesn't make it. And I think Willie Clayton, is he going to be called?
If it's on him, that's 3.
It's on Jeremy Smith.
Okay.
Call on Jeremy Smith. Kai Williams takes a seat. Kyle Williams coming in. Eagles played almost 5 minutes and still only scored 2 points.
Yeah.
Drew Lasker coming in and it's Ramon Fletcher that's getting the seat.
Their offensive woes, Jeff, I hate to say this, but I think it's affecting their defensive performance. I'm a little bit concerned about Ramon because, like everybody else, I read the reports last week, and didn't he get ejected with 2 technicals?
He did, yeah. Technical and unsportsmanlike.
And what they can't afford is for him to mentally get out of this game.
Meanwhile, Willie Clayton completes his double-double. His 10th point. He's already got 12 rebounds at the other end and pushes that lead to 14 now with 59-45. Ball goes in the corner. Lasker explodes from the side and drives to the basket. And it's a block by Tory Butler called, and Drew Lasker go up the line to shoot 2. And we've played 5 minutes and 11 seconds, and the Eagles have only scored 2 points, Dave.
Well, yeah, but let's take that there. You know, the whole building will be enjoying 3-point shooting, particularly when they go in, but that was the best way to try and get 3 points.
Lasker at the line, knocks the first down.
Yeah, he really took that drive on hard. He faked his man out, straight past him, and had no hesitation in taking that ball into the hoop, draw the foul.
Burst of energy which the Eagles definitely needed.
Yeah.
And he's missed the second.
Desperately needed that second one to go in. It would have made it an even better play.
13.
Now 2-2-1 press. See what this does for the Eagles.
Clayton, Manchester looks to break the press. Callum Jones.
Well, it slowed them down. That's one thing for sure.
Willie Clayton finds Mike McCall. He dances round, back inside to Clayton. Clayton bounces the ball off Granic's legs and it goes. You can't help but love the infectiousness of Willie Clayton, isn't he?
Well, you can, but and also, I think from the Eagles' point of view, that 2-2-1 zone got them back into playing defence. 2-2-1 press, sorry. That's
really what they've got to do. Because
the whole intensity levels was different on that defence than the previous 3 or 4 we'd seen.
Eagles' best offence tends to come from the defence. There's Jamal Williams for 3.
Yeah, all we need now is for it to have a benefit for their outside game.
Jamal Williams' 3 didn't go, and the rebound was taken by Mr. Clayton. There's McCall, faced by Lasker. Out wide to Jones, Callum Jones. He uses a screen off Granic. Granic dives inside, but they go outside to Mike McCall, and his 3-point shot rims out. Darius Defoe takes the defensive rebound. Drew Laska's definitely trying to inject some energy and spark into this Eagles side. Yes, Kyle Williams to Darius Defoe, back to Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams drives inside. There's a nice 2-point shot. Much better offense, that one from the Eagles.
Yeah, you see Kyle's keeps looking at Fab for lead. Kyle's got to make these decisions himself. That was a great move, Kyle.
Yes, McCall now at the other end. Eagles coming quite up to the top.
I just realised he was asking shall we put the press on, wasn't he?
And that's a foul from Darius Defoe, I think. Didn't agree with it. Blackpool Grant shall go to the line. It's actually, the foul's actually on, I think, 22. That might be Jamal Williams' third foul.
Well, Manchester have got this short rotation, you know, the 7 players. Well, I guess one big advantage of it is you're really building good chemistry, aren't they?
They are, and they look a very tight-knit bunch. Tory Butler takes a seat and Ingus Bankovic comes on, and meanwhile Blackpool Greenwich will go to the line to shoot 2. Darius Defoe takes a seat. Ramon Fletcher back on. Eagles with 4 guards out there, Dave. And,
yeah, well, I think with Darius picking up 3, the game not yet beyond the Eagles, I think it would have been pretty difficult if he'd suddenly found a way to get his 4th in this quarter.
Actually,
I think taking him out was a good move.
Yeah, sorry, Dave. It's actually Jamal Williams who's picked up the 3rd foul and have left Jamal
Was it?
out. Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, I thought that was on Darius.
Yeah, and it was called on Jamal. So
okay.
Jamal's now on 3 fouls and he's stayed out there, and Defoe's got to the bench on 2 fouls. Greenwich made the first but didn't make the second. Eagles with a chance to cut the gap to 10 points with 3 minutes left. Laska driving down deep and then coming out. McCall. Here's Jamal Williams for 3. I actually think Greenwich got a little bit of a touch on that, but this time it drops for Jamal Williams, and that takes the lead from Manchester's lead down to single figures at 9 points. It's Callum Jones to McCall. McCall turns the corner. Callum Jones to Bankovic. Bankovic finds Callum Jones inside. Callum Jones doesn't make it, but Willie Clayton gets the rebound. He's battling against 3 or 4. Battling against 3 or 4, and called for the travel, and Jamal Williams was straight in his face to tell him exactly what he'd done. Eagles teammates pushing him away. Referee's
something going wrong on the scoreboard there, because it's flashing as another foul against Jamal, which obviously wasn't.
No, I think what it is, Dave, is it flashes on the last person who's fouled.
Okay.
So Callum Jones coming up to the 3-point line and free throw line and knocking down a 2-point shot. Pushes the lead back to double figures. There's Drew Laska. He's missed his layup. He thought he was fouled. Nothing given. It's Manchester again who come forward. There's Greenwich with another layup.
Oh, yeah. 2 transitions in a row. That can't be a good sign for the Eagles at this stage.
And the 13-point lead is this time it's a foul on Fletcher as he tries to drive to the basket. The point you were making about Kyle Williams looking for Flanoy, this time it's Flanoy looking for Kyle Williams, bringing him back to the bench.
Yeah.
Fletcher will go up the line to shoot 2.
Well, I like this, frankly, I like this idea of this sort of half, 3/4 court 2-2-1 press, because it's getting the defense. They need to do something with their defense here to inspire the offense. Things are just not working offensively. I mean, what I loved about that last play was Clayton took that offensive rebound, and Jamal on 3 fouls never for 1 second gave up on trying to contest that shot.
Didn't back down at all.
No.
Meanwhile, at the red, Fletcher's missed the first free throw. 1:51 to go. Manchester leading 64-51. Fletcher makes the second, so that cuts the gap to 12 points. Manchester with a chance to set up.
This is good.
Jones.
I mean, they've just scored 2 transitions in a row. It's slowing them down.
And
he's got the turnover as the bonus.
Could be the 2-2-1, could be the key, as you said, David. It has certainly worked on at least 2 occasions there. Of course, Eagles have got to capitalise on that turnover and make sure they score at this end. Yes, Fletcher, he comes inside, just inside, knocks down the 2. Ramon Fletcher up to 16 points personal.
Perfect timing. That was much needed on his from an individual point of view.
Eagles almost came up with another steal there. Bankovic in the corner, hand up, been there for about 10
Jamal's
minutes.
doing a good job on Clayton.
Clayton will go to the basket this time, and he's managed to get. That's probably the farthest shot he's done, and it's only about 6 foot.
Way out of his range, wasn't it?
But it went in, and it's 12-point lead. Here's Lasker, Jamal Williams for 3, front of the rim, touched by Callum Jones to Bankovic, into McCall's hand. And Manchester off and running again. Callum Jones inside to Clayton. He takes the ball. Again faced by 3 Eagles. Gets it to Bankovic. Bankovic's shot is short. Drew Lasker takes the rebound. Fletcher coming, drives at Callum Jones. Good defense by Callum Jones. Fletcher comes back out to Smith. Smith now driving against Willie Clayton. And he steps out of bounds. That's great defense from Willie Clayton, giving him nowhere to go.
This is a part of the Eagles game I think they need to take a real look at, Jeff, is when they play pick and roll. The other 3 players who are not involved that are too static, they should be working hard, reading where that is, you know, and particularly thinking about the guard having to kick out to them if either he doesn't have an option or the guy rolling to the basket doesn't. I think it's something they really need to really work on.
35.7 seconds to go in the third quarter. Giants lead 66 to 54. And they're on the offense again with Callum Jones and Mike McCall. There's Bankovic now.
Looks like Eagles are zoning them up now.
And that's a great hand in the lane there by Kyle Williams. Gives it to Jeremy Smith, but Kyle Williams tries to drop it off to Fletcher, but Fletcher had gone already. And it's another turnover for Kyle Williams. Callum Jones comes back. They're going to Manchester looking to settle for the last shot. Bankovic for 3. Doesn't go in. Greenwich almost got the rebound. Eagles have got 4.5 seconds, and I would suggest they've got to run something fairly quickly. But they'd really look to score here. Jeremy Smith's going to go over the halfway line and try and drive all the way. He finds Fletcher. Not enough time. Buzzer goes. But Clayton was there anyway to block that. And that's a great quarter for Manchester. 20 points to 13, so they now lead by 12 at 66 to 54.
Yeah, totally dominated at the start, and the Eagles finding maybe a little bit of a way to get back into the game, but far from being decisive about the way they were doing it.
A quick look at the stats there. Greenwich up to 22 points now, and Clayton, we talked about 12 points, 15 rebounds. Mike McCall coming now in more into the game. He's got 8 points and 5 assists. Callum Jones 10 points, 3 assists. For the Eagles, pretty much at the moment almost looks a bit like a one-man show. Ramon Fletcher has 16 points and 12 rebounds. Eagles' next highest scorer is Jeremy Smith on 8, and then Kyle Williams with 7. Couple of sixes there for Jamal and Kai Williams. 5 points from Darius Defoe. But rebounds-wise, Eagles have got 22 rebounds. Manchester have got 39. And that's
well,
where
that's
they really
an astonishing figure.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Eagles have got 22 rebounds, and Willie Clayton's got 15 of his own.
Well,
Eagles have got to somehow find something in this last quarter, otherwise it'll be the next thing they'll be saying is, well, we'll have to concentrate on getting the highest playoff position we can get.
Well, I'll take you the words right out of your mouth. They have to do something this quarter, and my feeling is, Jeff, it has to start with the defence. They have to make it harder for Manchester to score. They have to have something that's going to get them fired up more in the game, and they have to try and get steals to get the easy buckets. They have to try and run the transmission more. I don't know what the issues are in the half-court offence, but right now what's far more important is they absolutely rank up their defence.
And whenever you talk to any of the Eagles players, they always say defence is the key, and if they play their defence well, that gets them their offence. And so that, as you say, defence is that key. But you have to be very impressed with this Giants side, really playing well as a team, and their work rate's tremendous as well. So it's the Eagles who start the final quarter, trailing by 12, and looking to get immediately some points on the board and cut that gap. Yes, Kyle Williams turns the corner, but he's turned the ball over straight away as he tried to find Jeremy Smith, and Tory Butler brings it over halfway. Manchester in no real hurry at the moment, just trying to find the right pass, right person open. Shot clock down to 8. Mike McCall turns the corner, he looks gives it to Greenwich. So McCall will shoot the three, gets it back from Grant and makes the three almost on the buzzer. 24-second offense, a 3-point in the end of it. Couldn't have gone any better for the Giants there. So 69-54, 15-point gap now. Nice pass from Fletcher inside to Defoe. Defoe doesn't make it, and that's going to be a technical foul on Favre-Frenoy. Favre-Frenoy came onto the court there to protest about. He thought Darius Defoe was fouled, and Frenoy's received a technical foul for that.
I see they've substituted Eddie Matthews in for Kyle Williams.
Yep.
Bit disappointed they didn't stay with Drew a little bit longer. I thought he had an impact in terms of energy and decision making. You know, it's very, very difficult. I mean, if they're going 2-2-1 and then they're going back into zone, that's pretty easy, but it's not so easy for that type of zone the Eagles are doing, is to keep the Manchester offense under pressure. I have seen teams do a 2-2-1 and back into man-to-man. Does involve a lot of switching, but at least you keep the intensity on.
So first points of the final quarter by Manchester, and they've now got the possession back because of the technical. Mike McCall made the free throw for the technical. It's 16-point gap now. Yes, Torrey Butler, back to McCall, across to Jones. Jones comes inside, nice 2-point shot.
That was just too easy, wasn't it?
And it's up to 72-54. The Eagles in real danger here of crashing out the trophy on their own new home court and going 0-2 for with the opening of the new arena.
Yeah.
Jeremy Smith to Kai Williams. Kai Williams for three. That one always looked on course. We need a few more of those. That makes it 15 points.
One of the biggest red lines in defence is no middle. And whoever it was who went out on to, was it James Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, just absolutely dropped his outside foot, giving a wide open drive to the middle for James Jones.
Fletcher almost steals the ball off Butler.
The Eagles need to play the ball straight up now, really aggressively. Feet parallel to the three-point line, really play them head up.
Giants with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. It has to go up from Greenwich, and that's from way downtown. He's missed it, and I think that's going to be a foul. I think it may well be on
Darius.
It is
Yeah.
on Darius Defoe.
Yeah.
It did look like a push to me as well, Dave. And
Yeah.
Willie Clayton celebrated it. The one thing we haven't seen is Willie Clayton at the line. He's only 46% from the line, and if the Eagles get into trouble,
Get him on the line.
Get him on the line. That could be the thing. So 8 minutes left to go. Eagles down 72-57, and that's going to be a foul. Another foul on the Eagles. This time it's on Greenwich. Kai Williams.
Yeah.
Looks almost incredulous that they
Well,
cannot believe that call at all.
Let's look at why the foul happened. They're playing this type of defence and they're not getting in passing lanes. You can't play zone without using man-to-man principles. That was a really easy pass into Greenwich.
Greenwich on the line to shoot two. This is the first one.
Whatever defence they're going to use now, they've got to use man-to-man principles to protect the middle, both against interior passing and exterior drives.
Manchester only 4 of 12 from the free throw line. If they were at 50%, there would be another 3 or 4 points in front. Kai Williams' three doesn't go. Torrey Butler takes the rebound. He gives it to James Jones. He finds it back to Torrey Butler, to Greenwich. Back to James Jones. Manchester looking really comfortable and confident here. Mike McCall going against Jeremy Smith. Good screen by Greenwich. Greenwich going to charge through the middle, but Darius Defoe.
Good call, referee.
Yeah.
Really good call. A few boos going around the arena, but if anybody was going to get a foul out of that, it would have been Darius, but he didn't. That was a tremendous bit of defence by Darius and a really good call by the referee.
Yeah, I would agree with you, David.
Yeah.
There's a few boos around, but I think the way that went, it almost would have been a foul on Darius, which would have gone this. That's too easy, far too easy. McCall held on to that and waited for the Manchester offence spread around, and Butler cut easy to the basket and laid it in for two. The Eagles looking a bit disheartened, to say the least, Dave.
Not doing enough with the defence for me, Jeff.
There's Fletcher for two at the other end.
I'm not saying this game's over. 7 minutes is a long, long time. The Eagles only need just a little short little run. 5-0, 6-0, different game.
But inside, they're getting killed inside.
It's how easy it is for them to get the ball in. That's what's worrying me from the Eagles' point of view. And we'll be absolutely delighting the Manchester coach. Greenwich is just getting wide open everywhere he goes.
Up to 24 points as well, Greenwich. The other end is Fletcher, but that's deflected away, and Manchester come up with the ball. We talked last week, I think you talked last week about the atmosphere in here when this crowd got going, but the Eagles players have got to give the fans some support.
Jeff, I couldn't agree with you more. It's down to the players to fire the fans up, not the other way around.
And there again, we've got another ball inside. Easy ball inside to Greenwich. He didn't make the layup, but guess who took the offensive rebound? Mr. Clayton, and then it goes for 2 points. Willie Clayton dominating inside, as is Greenwich. Willie Clayton up to 16 rebounds, 14 points, and here's Fletcher virtually having to go by himself. Eagles just standing around, no movement at all. There's another 3 ball goes up from Kai Williams, but he makes it.
Well, thank goodness for that, because it doesn't seem, long ago we were talking about the Eagles are only 12 down, but they're actually 19 down before that shot went in.
Cuts it to 16. There's a foul by Fletcher as McCall drives hard. Eagles 3 fouls in the quarter. Manchester haven't picked up a single foul in this quarter so far, Dave. That's probably one of the things the Eagles bench is getting a little bit irate about. Fab Fanoy looks as if he's about to blow at any stage. Prowling the sidelines, trying to find a way of getting his team back into this, but at the moment they're long way from getting back into it.
That's what he needs to concentrate on, because we all know if he picks up one more tee, he's gone.
Yes, McCall, almost too easy. For once, Clayton doesn't get the rebound this time. Jeremy Smith got hands in, but at the other end, Mike McCall does well to knock the ball away from Jeremy Smith. Be Eagles ball at the end line. 5:13 to go. Manchester leads 78-62.
I'm a huge fan of Ramon Fletcher, but right now his body language doesn't look positive, Jeff.
I would have to agree with you, Steve.
And the Eagles really need him.
Jeremy Smith, I mean, that was really quite an easy two, and he's missed it. He'll go back, and he's blocked by Torrey. But yeah, just looking at Fletcher there, he's almost not bothering to go back on defense. Eagles up, with it's still 4:50 to go, but they look a well-beaten side at the moment. 16 points down. Here's McCall. Good hands from Darius Defoe though that time. Smith finds Fletcher on the rebound. Fletcher goes for the reverse layup. He makes it.
What an awesome move. He's left-handed. He takes it in. He keeps it on his left hand. Twists around to make it a reverse left-hand layup. The defender didn't have a chance to block that at all.
Fletcher up to 20 points. So a nice play by Butler. He finds Clayton inside. Clayton doesn't make it, but the recycled ball comes back to Giants. Butler, Jamal Williams and Kai Williams almost came up with it.
Didn't work, but the two Williams brothers there really had an attempt, didn't they, to hustle there and try and change the emphasis a little bit.
Giants take a timeout, probably more just to give themselves a bit of a break as much as anything. They lead 78-64 with 4:17 to go, and although it's a Giants timeout, all the work needs to be done in the Eagles camp to see if they can somehow pull this around. Just have a quick look at the other games. 5:53 to go down there at Bristol. Flyers lead Sharks 51-46. That would be a 52-46. That would be a big win for Bristol if they could pull that one off. And at Worcester, the Lions look home and hosed. 26 points in front with 10 minutes to go at 79-53.
Well, the Eagles have pulled it back from 19 down to 14 down with still just over 4 minutes to go. I think the worst thing the Giants could possibly do at this stage is to protect the lead. Try and explain that better. I think protecting the lead means they'll slow things down, but actually I think their tempo has been what has been good for them.
Yeah, slow things down, trying to run the clock down.
Yeah.
But it takes them out of what they've been doing.
What they've been doing really well.
Yeah, absolutely. So just looking at the scorers, Eagles have got 2 players in double figures. That's Ramon Fletcher on 20 points and Kai Williams on 12 points. Fletcher also has 13 assists. For Manchester, Vlatko Granic is up to 24 points. Mike McCall has 12. Willie Clayton has 14 and 15 rebounds, and Callum Jones has 6. just looking at Tory Butler there. He hadn't got a point in the first half. He's got 7 in this half, but he's also got 9 rebounds. And look at that transition there, Dave. That was fantastic. Quick, and James Jones cuts to the basket and lays it in for 2.
Yeah, but everybody knows against the press you're going to try and get the ball to the centre of the court between the halfway line and the three-point line, and the Eagles didn't defend it at all.
Great Eagles defense with Jamal
I think
Williams.
Clayton might be in trouble here.
I was going to say, but it was
He went down badly there. I don't know what it was, an ankle twist, a knee, or a hamstring, but he really went down badly.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the whole thing started with a great steal by Willie Clayton, and he was going to try and get to the basket, but Jamal Williams got back to him. He stole the ball off Clayton, and that caused Willie Clayton to stumble and fall, and he did go down very hard, and he is back up on his knees now.
So 16-point down after that timeout, or was it 14 down, was it? They pulled it back from 19 to 14, and you concede a driving layup. Yeah. That is not what is required of your defense at this level and in this type of game, knockout situation.
The Eagles fans give it the old slow hand cap, but we almost heard when Clayton went down, you could hear it.
He's up now, so
he's up now, and
it seems all right.
It's nice to see when he's going to shake hands with Jamal Williams. The certainly two of them had a real battle tonight, haven't they?
Yeah.
And what's that old adage about basketball? It's the most violent non-contact sport going. Anybody who thinks basketball is a non-contact sport really needs to look closer. Well, Kai Williams, this is an interesting tactic. He's coming out with a mop.
It's like the one about ice hockey, isn't it, that used to use at Newcastle Arena. I went to an ice hockey game and a fight broke out.
So Manchester bringing the ball forward with Butler. He finds McCall. McCall to James Jones in the corner.
I'll tell you one thing about Manchester's press breaker. They've got great spacing in it and great positioning and great awareness as well of where the ball is.
Granic finds Clayton inside. Will he drive? He will. Well, he will drive. Misses the layup, but gets his own rebound. Twisting, turning. Finds James Jones in the far corner. Eagles force the ball out. Going to be shot clock violation. Is it? No.
Yeah. Hang on. Was that amber on the backboard or red?
Oh, Kai Williams driving in hard. Really hard. And he's fouled by, I think it's Mike McCall. Yeah, Mike McCall. And Kai Williams will go to the line to shoot 2. 3:11 left. Eagles down by 16. 80 points to 64. And it's Kai Williams going to the line to shoot 2. Kai Williams' first one's very short indeed and hits the front of the rim, drops down, doesn't go in. We're just looking at Danny Burns up there on his feet. I think that may be the first time he's actually got out his seat tonight, Dave. He's been very calm and assured, and his team have done everything for him, haven't they?
You know, I'll say this for the Manchester Smith. I was just about to say something. They have a turnover. The players have done a good job. They've really organised themselves on the floor.
Was a bad turnover from the second free throw, which Kai Williams made, but Kai Williams' 3-point didn't go in. Eagles trying to hustle. Yeah, good ball moving.
Touch of class there from Willie as well, wasn't it? I mean, look, they thought he was going to get a shot block. He held it and then just kissed it in off the glass. Good move. That
1-2 punch inside Granic and Clayton has been phenomenal.
Been a big factor, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. And that's, you can say quite categorically, Eagles have massively missed Victor Moses. And there's an unsportsmanlike foul on Ramon Fletcher. And as McCall turned past him and Fletcher put his hand in, the referee called the foul, and Fletcher put his hands up straight away because he knew that was going to be an unsportsmanlike foul. McCall will go to the line to shoot 1. Ramon Fletcher's body language completely gone now, Dave.
Well, it's never over until it's over, but I think there's dawning recognition among these fans that there's not going to be a miracle here in the last 2.5 minutes. Because they're going to get possession back. They've got another 24 seconds they'll want to waste. almost impossible to get back from here now when you're 18 down, 19 down.
19 down, because McCall made both free throws, and now, because of the unsportsmanlike foul, Manchester get the ball back, and as you say, they don't even really need to take any shots, do they? Jamal Williams and Willie Clayton battling away again, and this time Jamal Williams comes up with it.
If you're going to talk to anybody about defence, Jamal Williams has stuck to that task, hasn't he, all night long?
I think he's done as good a job as he could. You know, he would have had, normally would have had help from Victor Moses. As Jeremy Smith misses a three-point shot, Jamal Williams picks up the rebound. Darius Defoe thinks about the three, but it's Ramon Fletcher who's going to put the three up, and he's actually made that one.
At 41%, you know, Darius shouldn't be thinking about that three.
Eagles
41%, I think, isn't it, for the season?
Yeah, 41%. Eagles have taken 29 three-point shots and only made 9. Oh, what a great pass. What a great pass from James Jones. Behind the back, left-handed pass to Greenwich. Greenwich finishes it. And, you know, and it's a travel at the other end from Jeremy Smith.
Exactly the same as we had in the first half there. Taking it into the defensive player instead of pulling up before he gets there. Pull up and shoot, pull up and float it, or pull up and kick it to a teammate.
I have to say it looks pretty sad at the moment. There's people streaming out of the arena with 1:42 to go, and Eagles down by 18 points.
Well,
Again,
you know,
we keep talking about them missing Victor Moses, but would it have been made? How much difference would it have made? It would have made a lot of difference, but
yeah.
it would have turned the 18 points around.
I think that's an answer we don't know, Jeff. Same as we don't know about the factor of Victor Moses last week. You know, possibly. But we're looking here at a team. Let's not forget they got to this game tonight by thumping Leicester in the previous round on their home court, and they're doing exactly the same to the Eagles tonight.
And they might well have to play London Lions in the next round in a two-legged semi-final. So if they get to the final of the trophy, they're certainly going to earn it. There's a technical foul being called down on Mike McCall, who shot the three and felt he was fouled by Darius Defoe and said something to the referee, and the referee replied to his comment by giving him a technical foul. But unfortunately, Darius Defoe doesn't make the free throw. And the Eagles have to go all the way back to take the
Yeah, because that's the rule, isn't it now? Yeah, you go back to where the incident was for inbound in the technical.
It's not so much going all the way back, it was the speed at which they went back. They almost went back as if to say, we don't really want to take this ball. Yes, Eddie Matthews come on in the corner. His three-point shot's gone. What a great rebound from Torrey Butler. Butler brings it forward. Butler now can come out. Eagles chasing the ball, almost like frantically chasing the ball. Manchester's just going to run this. They don't even need to really shoot, but James Jones is going to put up a three. He's missed the three, but they ran 24 seconds there. Eddie Matthews wide open, but Willie Clayton, wow. Willie Clayton, Eagles there. Eddie Matthews completely wide open, but Willie Clayton came from nowhere and just blocked that shot.
And Danny Byrne rolls the bench, and isn't that what they say in the NBA game? He clears the floor for his bench.
Yeah, cigar time. Adam Walden it is who's come on. Very, very rarely sees court time, but with an 18-point lead and 51 seconds to go, absolutely no reason why he shouldn't put it on. I'm surprised he hasn't put Sam Lane on as well. Surely they're not going to lose 18 points in 51 seconds, not unless the Eagles suddenly sub Tracy McGrady in. There's Jeremy Smith. Kyle Williams for three. That one's off. Oldham comes up with a rebound. James Jones. I'll tell you the other thing as well, which we haven't mentioned. Manchester have done most of this without even using Callum Jones very much as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's been James Jones and Mike McCall who's run the game pretty much. You look at it, Callum Jones has actually only played 16 minutes, Dave.
Yeah, and
when you look at his average for the season,
he's normally 35 minutes a game, isn't he?
Yeah. So that indicates to me that perhaps he did have a little bit of an injury, and he's just done enough for his team. Or
I think, hasn't James had something like 4 years out of the game, and
yeah, he was away in Canada for 3 years, coaching, but he certainly rolled back the years tonight.
Yeah, you know, you think about the Gordon Hayward situation at Celtics with that horrendous injury last year, and it's taken him some time to work his way back in. I think James Jones has done that in a really good game tonight.
7 points 6 rebounds, 9 assists. That's James Jones tonight.
Yeah, and the one thing the stats don't show is a lot of veteran leadership.
Eagles, I have to say the Eagles have just given up here. It really, that'll be all she wrote, because Butler has flushed that one down from a pass from McCall. Eagles have brought the ball over halfway, only 9 seconds, clock's going to run down, and this is an extremely subdued Eagles community arena as they go down to a crushing, I was going to say crushing 21-point loss, but Kyle Williams puts up a 3 on the buzzer, and it goes in, and it makes the final score 89 to Manchester Giants, 71 to the Eagles. And it really does. It just seems like everybody's sitting here pretty much stunned there. But Manchester thoroughly.
Well, it's a trophy game. It's a knockout. We've got to focus on the Giants because they're the ones who are going to go forward. There has to be some thinking here in the Eagles camp. I mean, you come into your new venue and you certainly want to be rewarding your fans with more than this. But well done to the Giants. I thought they had a really good game tonight. That 7-man rotation is creating great chemistry for them. They used it to the best tonight.
Yeah, and so Manchester will go forward. They will face either Cheshire or London in the next round. What we've got left for you this weekend on livebasketball.tv. Tomorrow night we have Surrey Scorchers at home to the Cheshire Phoenix, and Leicester Riders will take on the Plymouth Raiders. And then on Sunday, big games for London City Royals, who are at home to the Worcester Wolves, and Manchester Giants go back to championship action, and they'll go into their home match against Bristol Flyers with massive amounts of confidence. But from Dave and myself tonight, just to wrap up, say this is not necessarily a shock result, but a massive result for Manchester Giants as they go forward to the semi-finals of the trophy, and the Eagles go back to the drawing board.